with your mentee, and for some, also the mentee's family. During the evening meetings, we cover a specific topic related to where we're at in regards to the college process. So just to give you a couple of examples, the October meeting for seniors that we had last month was a common application workshop, and our upcoming November meeting, which is next week for our seniors, will revolve around the financial aid process, and it will be a financial aid presentation. We work hard to bring in interesting and diverse speakers. Many of them are from different colleges and universities. Due to COVID, these meetings are now a combination of recorded webinars and live Zoom evening meetings, and we're doing our best to find ways to continue to stay connected. It's been challenging and we've been sort of adapting on the fly, but I think it's really been working, and I think people are still feeling very connected. Thank you all for being here and for your interest in joining our program. I can say without a doubt that being a part of this program is one of the most rewarding parts of not just my job, but also my life. And I hope that you'll all have the same feelings and experience.
Thank you, Jillian. Jen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jen Garrity. This is my 4th year at Newton North, both also as a college and career counselor and is the T-Squared Mentee Coordinator and also Alumni Coordinator. So my roles there, so as the Mentee Coordinator, I serve as a point of contact for both students and families, beginning at this stage of their junior year with the application process. You'll hear a little bit more about that later on, but pretty much, sending out applications to students, recruiting students through their counselors, teachers, other staff members to be a part of T-Squared. I serve as that point of contact if students or families need to get, in touch with any of us regarding the college application process or different questions about T-Squared. And then as alumni coordinator, once our students leave Newton North, we like to still offer that support as for transitioning together for first generation students. So letting them know, when the FAFSA is due, helping them stay on track if they are transferring colleges, have questions about credits, different things there, and keeping track of our data as, our original T-Squared cohorts are beginning to graduate from college, keeping track of that data for graduation rates. But thank you all so much for being here tonight. We greatly appreciate it. And similar to what Jillian said, every year when we start doing this again, being part of this program, it really is the most rewarding thing. I cannot stress it enough. It is very rewarding to be a part of this program.
Thank you, Jen and Jillian. Well, I have to say, I feel so lucky to have Jen and Jillian as my teammates. Their energy and dedication to T-Squared is amazing, and I can't thank them enough. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Turner for a few words about T-Squared and his involvement and what it means to school.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I just want to take a second and just acknowledge the hard work of Jillian, Jen, and Melissa. This was as smooth of a transition to remote as any organization I could ever think of here with T-Squared. They had the kids up and ready last spring, and then this fall has been really, really seamless. I am in the end of my 2nd year as a T-Squared mentor, and I have to say, without a doubt, this is an incredible program where you make a difference. And I hear a lot of parents at the end of their 4 years at North ask me, how can I give back, because they've had such a great experience at the school, and this is the way to give back. And it's nice to see that there are some people on the South Side who've come over as well to help us out. It's important for us to know that in this moment, that the people who are being most affected by this pandemic are people of color, low-income people. Many of the students who fall into this category of first gen, not all, but many of them. When you look at the change the college process is making right now, there are many, many changes that they are doing to both the application process, how they're supporting students. As you know, many colleges are remote or hybrid, which has significant impacts. And so programs like this make an important impact on students. And it makes me think about my first year of teaching in Lexington High School when I was and shocked by the number of students who told me that they wanted to be doctors. And all of them had these plans for how they're going to be a doctor. This such and such a school was going to give them this major and go pre-med and all the classes they were going to do and what their whole path was to become a doctor. And I was just floored, considering the town that I grew up in. That was definitely not conversations we had as teenagers. But when I was talking to colleagues about it, it occurred to us that the students who were telling us this were the children of doctors. They knew the path. And when you talk to families of first-gen families, when you talk to families who have not gone through this process, they don't have the knowledge of the process, but their passion for their kid to be successful is the same. And that's what you're doing. When as I've mentored 2 students, one, the family was not as involved, but they were very passionate in making sure that he got to college. The student now is very involved, and we partner. It's actually, it's a different kind of partnership than the first year because of that involvement. But there are many times that the parent just asks me, how do I, ask me for some help and details, and that's my role to help them. So with that, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Henry. So one other person I'd like to thank tonight is Patty McCabe. She is the PTSO co-president, and she is largely responsible for getting everyone here tonight. So Patty, thank you so much for spreading the word and sending the Evite out and getting lots of potential mentors here tonight. So now comes the exciting part, when I get to turn the night over to our mentors and mentees. And I do suggest that everyone put their view on speaker view so that the people speaking will be big, and then you can see everyone, because I know we're on 2 different pages, or you are on my screen. So if you could switch to speaker view. And we'll just start with a couple mentors. Claire, if you don't mind going first, just to talk about your experience as a mentor, how it's gone for you, and just 1 to 2 minutes for each mentor and mentee. And we'll start with Claire. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So I'm Claire, and I have been a mentor twice. And I have my first mentee is named Nico Severino, and my second is Omar Shura. I have to say that they remain 2 of the most important people in my life, and I can't even begin to explain or express how much this program has meant to me. I have Nico came into the program by himself because his mom was just not really involved. She was very, very busy with so many other aspects of their family. And, but over time, we all worked together, his mom, his whole family, Nico, and he had a challenging life. He ended up at Connecticut College. He's a junior now. He has a full ride there, and he loves it, and he's a rock star there, and he's double majoring in computer science and linguistics, and he's got a plan. And this is a kid who really, truly, he came into this program saying, I just signed up because all these people are talking about college, and I don't even know what one looks like. And so that's the meaningfulness of this program, is that you can really connect and you can really work with a whole family. My second mentee was first gen in his family in the United States. He was from Egypt, and they were very overwhelmed by what the American college process looked like. We also, it was a process of really bringing the family along, and we're still close, and he's at Northeastern and is loving it there. So the process is amazing. The program directors, the 3, Melissa and the whole, all 3 are just amazing and so fun to work with. And it's great to have the support of the school, the support of the other mentors. It's just the greatest.
Thank you, Claire. Kathleen. Thank
Oh,
you.
hi. So I did this once, and I actually just spoke to my mentee this afternoon. We were both thinking about each other over the weekend, and she goes, "I was thinking about you," and I texted her this morning and said I was going to do this and just wanted to check in. She was from another country, and her first language was not English. I do have some facility in Spanish, so that really helped. Um, uh, she was an amazing young woman who came to Newton North halfway through freshman year, and with no English, she graduated with English and Portuguese, and she got scholarships from Newton North. And I wasn't the family. I wasn't that involved with the family. I just knew they were there. They were like supportive, and we just developed such a bond, and we went on college visits. I mean, one thing I can say as a parent who went through I have 3 kids of my own who went through the college process, so I've been on a lot of college tours in my life, but it not being your own kid is also really a good thing, because you don't have the same emotional ups and downs and pulls as you might with your own student. But it's just I felt like, especially during the last 4 years of the way immigrants have been treated in this country, and I felt like doing something on a one-to-one basis, helping one person navigate the system and deal with all the immigration issues. I just felt like I was giving back in a way that I never thought I would be able to. So it's very rewarding. And she's at Mass Bay and taking a couple of courses and working, and it's really very unique, like what each, a lot of kids don't want to move away from home. She was away from her family for so many years that the last thing she wanted to do was leave home. So there's not a one size fits all kind of plan, which is really important to keep in mind, because she said right away, I'm not moving out of my house. I love my family. I want to stay with my family and help my family financially. So it's just a really great experience, and I think I grew just as much as she did. So, and I really appreciate Melissa and Jillian and Jen for their support as well. So thanks.
Thank you, Kathleen. Jeff, can I turn it over to you now?
Hi, I've been doing this for a few years, and like the other mentors have mentioned, it's a particularly rewarding way to get involved with the entire community. Most of us mentors probably had kids that went through North, so you sort of get that perspective, which I think can be helpful, but it's always nice to be able to pick up some other viewpoints, because North is a pretty large school. So, I think as much as we do, I think mentors get just a lot more back in return. The kids are great to work with. Well, let's put it this way. As a parent, it's nice to have kids that are prone to listen to you. They might not they might not follow your advice at all, and nor should they, but it's nice that they're receptive to the message. So that's a refreshing perspective in some ways, but definitely a worthwhile program, and should I think as many mentors as we get, we can find mentees, and so I encourage everybody to consider joining.
Thank you, Jeff. Now I'd like to move to one of our students, Celine. I know you have to run off to swim practice, so I want to make sure that we give you as much time as possible. So if you're a current mentee, if you could just tell us about what it's been like in a
Is my microphone working? It was cutting
Yeah,
out a bit.
sounds great.
Okay, great. So yeah, my name's Celine, and I'm really grateful to be a part of this program because I'm from Turkey and I'm really not familiar with the college process here, like at all. But everyone here, like the teachers, Miss Handenberger, Miss Hall, and Miss Garrity, and my mentor. She's somewhere on here, Sally Marks. Yeah, they've all been really helpful. I'm sure Miss Garrity is annoyed by my messages at this point because, but it's really nice to have pretty much like so many people just trying to help you with like your goals and stuff. Yeah, so I'm able to basically just text Miss Garrity if I have any quick questions about the Common App or anything else, which has been extremely useful. And you know, the essay, what's it called? Like I send in my essay to for them to like look over it. My mentor also helps me a lot with like my supplemental essays too. So yeah, I think that's it.
Great, Celine. Thank you. Jerry, can we turn it over to you?
Yeah, hello. My name is Jerry. I joined the program in junior year because my counselor asked me to apply, and so I did. And I got paired up with my mentor, who was a teacher at Day Middle School. And just overall, the program is really nice because there's just so many like people supporting me and at every step of the process. Like for example, I had my early deadline on November 1st, and I applied to 3 total colleges. And throughout the whole process, my mentor was just behind me, supporting me. She actually read over my essay and gave me a lot of feedback on it, which was really nice. And I also scheduled some meetings with my counselors and college counselors, and they provided a lot of help, just aiding me in the financial process and also just common application stuff. And also, I keep in contact with my mentor like every month. She usually texts me like once a month just to check in. But like as the deadline came sooner, I started initiating the text messages and just asking her for some like help and just some suggestions on what I should do on my application. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jerry. So Karen, can I turn back to a
Sure.
mentor? Yes.
Can you see me okay?
Looks
Okay.
great. Yep,
All right.
and here.
I'm Karen Lapsley, and I was a mentor for the past 2 years working with a lovely lady named Bianca. So anyway, like everyone else has pretty much mentioned, it couldn't have been a more rewarding experience. Bianca played a huge role in making my experience so positive and rewarding. I mean, for many reasons, but to just lay out a few quickly, we developed an amazing personal relationship. And some of that is natural chemistry you might have with someone, but she and I definitely put the time in as well. You know, we went on a walk together. We would text often. We once went for coffee. But it also really helped that she was inclined to share her fears, anxieties about the process, also her hopes and dreams for the future. And just that she was so open helped me to then kind of play the counterpart to that, which was, I think, to be a really, I don't know, warm, I hope, receptive, careful listener. And together we built this very trusting relationship and even a friendship, which was a solid framework as we tried to find the right school for her. Now, Bianca deserves a lot of credit from there, because what was so helpful to both she and I as we embarked on this mission to find the right school is Bianca was so focused about her educational and career goals. So she knew from the start she wanted to be a vet. She's known this much of her life. After all, she had 2 dogs, a cat, 2 birds, 2 geckos, and 2 fish tanks. So we knew that this was a good setup, but basically she also had excellent grades, resume for work experience, recommendations. So she kind of really played a huge part in making that all easy for me. And then I felt like it was important for me to play my role, which was just to help her stay organized, you know, keeping abreast of deadlines for herself and me. getting her signed up for the ACT, making sure she did the tutor class Melissa and Jen encouraged her to do, but she wasn't so sure. And I would tell her why that was so beneficial. You know, a big project for she and I, one of the only stumbling blocks, you know, we were kind of struggling with some of the financial aid elements. Her family was, you know, private with some of that. So there were some moments where they were trying to handle the language barrier and some of the forms. And you know, Melissa stepped in to help me, and we were all patient, you know, and trying to help Bianca with that. So maybe that being our only stumbling block, she paved the way with her, you know, a lot of her willingness to open up, how hungry she was to pursue this goal that she had, which was very specific and did again make my job easy. But again, in the end, it was so rewarding to get this call. I look back on my text, it was January 11th. Till then, we had had a little more of a texting relationship because she's a teenager and that's what they do. But my phone rang and I see Bianca on my screen, and she was like screaming that she had gotten into the UMass program of animal sciences, which was exactly the one that we had started to narrow down to. After she had laid the groundwork, we narrowed down schools. This is what she set her heart on. We had gone out for a visit in the fall. The leaves were flowing with all colors. I had an enthusiastic, bright-eyed Bianca on my hands. We took a class together. We took a tour. We went to a farm, and she just knew this was it. And so when this came through on January 11th, she was ecstatic. We both cried, and those were the rewards that I don't need to say much more about. They're very intrinsic, and we keep in touch. I adore her, and I don't know if I'll be so lucky to have anything even close to that with any future relationship through this program I have. I'll be lucky to have, but she was quite unique, and it's been wonderful.
Thank you, Karen. Diana.
Hi, everybody. I'm trying to think of something new to say because all the mentors have wonderful things to say. I was a mentor for a student who just graduated in 2020. And I'm a mom of 3 kids who are, 2 have graduated college and 1 is actually still in college. So I have a lot of experience as a parent going through the application process. But a long time ago, I was a high school student and I was a first generation applicant. So I completely understand that sometimes this process can be confusing, difficult. And that was really one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to give back and connect with students that I understood how they were feeling. I felt as a mentor, I was part of a team. So the college advisors, the T2 team, and the parents, I was really happy to have all of the support with them. My kids did not go to any of the Newton schools, so it really helped me understand the processes and what was happening at school. But really the student that I work with, she was on top of everything. When I would remind her of a deadline, she already turned things in. So she was fantastic. With this program, I was able to assist her in understanding the different types of colleges, discover what she wanted in a college experience, and realize once you got there that there were programs at the college for first generation students. So I really work with her to just educate her on all the different college aspects. In addition to attending the monthly meetings, we met outside a lot. We went on college visits. I went with the group when we went on college visits. We went over all of her essays, the main Common App essay, all of her supplemental essays. I helped her review her Naviance list. I helped her fill out the Common App, but all of these were part of what we did in the monthly meetings. So I felt those meetings were very productive, very well programmed, and really essential to keep us on track. So I thought those were really great. And even when all of her decisions came in, I also helped her with the acceptance process. And she's at UMass Amherst. She's very happy. And I really enjoyed being a mentor, and I look forward to doing it again. Thanks.
Thank you, Diana. Corey Rain, let's turn it over to you.
Okay, sorry, can you hear the noise in the background?
No, you sound great.
Okay, so personally, I started exposing myself to like college and like going on college tours and traveling to college visits and stuff like that around like 8th grade. But I was kind of like doing it to like see what campuses are like and, you know, like get a feel of like what college can be, because I was in 8th grade and I thought like, oh, this would be cool. But the stress or the feeling of like, oh, like I'm going to college soon, like that didn't come till like, actually till I got offered to be in T squared. So when we had, I think we had the same event last year, and that was the first time I met my mentor. I don't think she's not here. Her name is Katie. And that was the first time I met her. I was with my dad, and she was really nice and really welcoming. And yeah, so basically now she, you know, she'll email me and check on me and like help me with my Common App and stuff. And I'm doing all the work myself, but she'll like tell me the next steps or like just take off a lot of stress that I know, like if I didn't have T squared or if I didn't have a mentor, I'd be like 10 times more stressed and I probably wouldn't know what to do next or when to apply to what college, or, you know, there's just a lot of things that I wouldn't have known if I didn't have T squared.
Thank you, Corey. All right, so I'm moving to my next screen. Let's go to Sally.
Hi, I'm Sally. I'm Celine's mentor. It's gonna be a little bit of an echo chamber. I mean, first of all, it's just great to hear how happy everyone's as happy as I am with this program. It's been really great. I agree that the mentee relationship is so different than when I applied with my son. I'm really fortunate. I'm paired with Celine and she's super motivated and she's also very focused on her life goals. And interestingly, my husband and I both, my husband's a physician. I have my master's in anesthesia. My son has no interest in medicine, and I was paired with a woman who wants to do pre-med, and it's really fun to get to go through that process with somebody who has such focus, and I can see the goals in sight for her. So I guess because we're in COVID and a lot of our relationship has developed over Zoom, I'd say the majority of our time this year, and maybe this will change for people in the future, is we did a lot of college tours on Zoom. We had to look a lot of media that's presented through colleges, and it's an interesting way to look at schools. A lot of our time has been trying to whittle down her college list and use Naviance to figure like colleges when she decides she likes something and the pros and cons. And it's very time consuming for these students, and they're doing all their other stuff. And I feel like my major role is just to keep encouraging her and saying, hey, you have this big list, just keep chipping away, just chip away, and like chip away at the application process. And I think one of the students alluded to it. I think the cool thing about this program is it's not that teachers say to students, you need to go to T2. It's that students self-identify that they're interested in doing this. And we also self-identify as wanting to help. So I feel like that changes the dynamic completely, that everybody's here voluntarily. I too, like I think someone mentioned, send a lot of text to my student just to kind of say, hey, you're doing a great job, or I saw what you did on your edits, and just let her know that I'm here if she needs me. And she'll probably get a little annoying with the text, but I'm just trying to keep her on track because I realize that it's overwhelming. I mean, I had a son who did ED, and I realize now that I'm so impressed with my mentee. Like, there's so much to juggle when you're applying to multiple schools, and it's really daunting when you see how each school has their own specific thing. And even as an adult, I think, gosh, that's really overwhelming to keep track of all those little details. And I think my mentee mentioned like a big hurdle for the kids, I think, is the Common App and doing all those supplemental essays. And it's really hard to keep track of them and to edit them all. So it's been my pleasure to read what she's written and also to try to jog her memory and my memory back to what is it that you liked about those specific schools. It's really overwhelming at times, but she's done a really great job. My student has also been really on track with tasks. And I have to say, I'll give a shout out to the people who do this program, because I know she's gotten tons of support from the whole T2 community. And it's nice to know like that there is this huge community. It's not just me. So, you know, it's a nice way to volunteer time, and I highly recommend it. And I think that any student who comes into this program has a great chance of being really successful. I'm really excited to see where Celine ends up at school. I truly believe she's going to have a ton of choices, and I think she deserves that because she's a great gal. So anyway, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Sally. And Isaac, I'd like to turn it over to you now.
Oh, hello everyone. My name's Isaac, not Aaron. I'm just borrowing his computer because unlike my Chromebook, can actually handle Zoom. So there.
Oh,
So I can't begin to describe how valuable this program has been helping me in the application process. My mentor is Jeff, and yeah, he's just been tremendous. I guess entering, guess you could call it the application time period. I was like, I visited a lot of schools because like I just I don't know, I just like live around here, so like you yeah, obviously you've got all the universities around here, but like I didn't exactly know what to do, like how to apply, how do you write a supplemental essay, and like even in sophomore year, I could see that like everyone at Newton North, they're very college focused. So when I saw everyone like take their SAT subject test and begin taking real tours, like guess that was kind of intimidating. But like throughout the past, it's November now, so 10 months. Yeah, throughout the past 10 months, like my mentor Jeff, he's really helped me like figure out what to do step by step, whether it's like what is the right word? Testing, like when to do it, and narrowing down a school list, and like especially the past few months, helping me with my essays, like not only well, not really come up with ideas, but like how to make it more personalized, I guess. How to edit everything, and like that's really paid off. I mean, because I last week when I was submitting everything, I read over my first draft of my essay, and then I read over my final Common App draft, and like they they were literally worlds apart. So I can't thank him enough for that. And also, Jeff has helped me a lot with the ROTC application program as well. Like before I met Jeff, I didn't even know that a high schooler could apply for that, but he's really walked me through the process, and like it's taking a lot of stress off my shoulders. So I definitely thank him for that. And I think for any first gen kid, this would be very helpful. And I know like this program, it's inspired me for when I'm in college, wherever I end up, I want to take part in a program like this to help someone who really needs it.
thank you, Isaac. So that's all the mentors and mentees on the panel. I'd love to turn it over now to our guests to see what questions you have. And I did put the newsletter, I'll put it again in the chat. This is our most current hot off the press newsletter, came out last week, and you can click on it and then it opens up in another window and you can read it later, but definitely take a look at that. What questions do we have? You can put them in the chat if you'd like, or just raise your hand, or just call out, because we're a small enough group that. Yes, Jen.
So it just sounds like such a terrific program, and I really hope I get to be a part of it. But I do have a question because I'd have a child in that same class. So I was wondering if that like prohibits me from being able to participate in it for that year.
So we just require that our mentors have gone through the process. And I believe you had someone graduate last year, right? So you've already gone through the process. So the one caveat, and we've done this before with other mentors, I can talk to you about your mentee before you meet the mentee, just to make sure that's going to be okay, you know, like, because you probably don't want like a close friend of your child's, you know, like someone outside of, but it's a big enough class that usually it's not a problem at all. And you're already going through the process. You're already going to be visiting colleges. Why not bring someone else along? So it shouldn't be a problem, but we can talk separately. But we have definitely had people do that in the past. Any other questions from our guests? Okay, we have a question in the chat about the matching, and this is a great question. We have our students fill out an application, and they indicate what their interests are, what their possible majors, what they're involved with, and a lot of different things about themselves that we use to then match them with a mentor who might be interested in that same thing. We had 2 marathon runners matched one year, and it really just depends on what different similarities we can find. I believe Sally mentioned her student is pre-med and she has her degree in medicine. It sometimes works out like that, and then other times, it can be something like they both like to bake, or but we try to find something. And Jen, Jillian, and I spend numerous hours going through my notes from talking with each mentor on the phone. So this is one of the next steps that we're going to be talking about. But after this night tonight, if you are interested, I will put in the chat the form to fill out, and then we will have a conversation over the next couple of weeks, and I ask you a bunch of questions about yourselves, and then I use that information to match with a mentee. And again, January was when you would first meet your mentee. We let students know that they got into the program by winter break in December, and then they will have a meeting in January. It's the junior family night. We have a pre-meeting to that night, and it is the time when you will meet each other. So it'll look a little different this year, most likely. And we're still working those details out, but we will have the January meeting as when you first meet your mentee. One thing I did want to mention, a couple of students talked about how their mentor helped them with their essays. I did also want to let you know that we do have 5 professional essay readers who read our students' essay drafts, and then they make comments. They usually do it over a Google Doc. And we don't expect you to be experts at writing college essays. It's more that the student will implement those comments into their essay, and that's where you can be of help to them. So if that sounds daunting to have to write college essays, please do not worry. We do have professionals who will make comments, and then we just ask that you help the students build on those comments and improve the essay. Diana, you have some input on this?
Yeah, I actually wanted to have input on the FAFSA. I don't know a whole lot about the financial aid process, so I think there was a lot of help for the FAFSA. So you might mention that too.
Absolutely, and that is pretty common. We do have experts from MEFA, Massachusetts Education Financing Authority, and they come in. They're actually coming to our meeting next Tuesday. So we have lots of experts that we will send mentors and mentees to get help from. So absolutely, you do not have to be an expert. If you never filled out the financial aid for your own children, that's okay. We will help you go through that process with your mentee. Any other questions? All right, so I'm going to put in the chat now a link to our form if you're interested in serving as a mentor. I will put that in right now, and you can just click on that and fill it out at your leisure. If you want to open that now in another screen, then it'll be there for you after this meeting. So the newsletter and the Google Doc are 2 important forms. Also our website, which both of those documents are on, so you can definitely find them there. But just so you have the overall website.
Melissa?
Yes.
This is Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hi. I'm usually pretty good at Zoom, but for some reason, when I clicked on the newsletter, I lost everything except the pictures of everybody. So I can't get back to the chat. Would you be able to email the form?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I will send that in an email
Okay, great. Thanks.
to everyone, just so you have it.
Okay, thanks.
Well, if that is everyone, let me just double check. No other questions? One thing that Corey briefly mentioned, I just want to touch on as we close out tonight. We had a mentee a couple of years ago who was on the panel, and the metaphor that he used just really stuck with me, and I wanted to share it with you. He described his relationship with his mentor as his mentor was sitting in the passenger seat of a car, but he was driving the car, and the mentor would tell him when to go faster or to slow down or turn right or turn left. But he was the one in charge of the car and moving it forward and getting to where he wanted to go. The mentor was with him every step of the way. And that's really how this program works. We look to our mentors to provide the support, to be there for their mentees, but there's help all around every step of the way. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you again to Jen and Jillian and Patty and Henry for being with me and being an amazing support of this program. And please email me with any questions. I will be calling you if you fill out one of those forms in the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk about next steps. All righty. Great to see everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your work.
Thank you.